I might be at a military base potentially, because when we were younger, both my parents were in the military, so they were traveling a lot. So this might just be like some random house. Interesting.
Well, my mom is obviously incredibly proud. I think she actually sent me a text like 2 days ago, just like it's a long message, but she's just like, "I'm so proud of what you accomplished. Thank you for keeping me on the journey." And not every son in your position would involve their mom, and blah blah. And it was like very heartfelt. And I was like, "Oh, that's sweet." She loves it, right?
From a military prison in Germany to running one of the biggest YouTube empires on the planet, MrBeast's story is way deeper than just planting trees and giving out money. Stay till the end, because we're diving into the real truth about MrBeast's parents, the drama, the pain, the fallout, and how it shaped Jimmy into the man he is today. To understand it all, we gotta go back. Not to the start of YouTube, way before that. Back to when Jimmy Donaldson was just a kid in Kansas, growing up with strict routines, rotating au pairs, and a mother who carried the weight of the military every single day. Sue Perisher, Jimmy's mom, was a U.S. Army lieutenant colonel and military prison warden. While she worked 12-hour shifts in Mannheim, Germany, Jimmy and his brother CJ were left in the hands of nannies. Then came the crash. In 2007, Sue filed for divorce. The reason? Abuse, physical, emotional, and sexual. She left with her sons and never looked back. Jimmy never saw or spoke to his father again. No calls, no texts. Sue moved the boys to North Carolina and started over. Jimmy changed. And behind every thumbnail, a kid escaping a world that felt too heavy. His mom didn't believe in YouTube.
Let's keep going. There we go. Come on. Okay. Let's go. We're so close. Oh my gosh. Wow. We did it. Oh, they're going to throw confetti on me.
Before the viral giveaways, before the $1 million challenges, before the world called him Mr. Beast, Jimmy Donaldson was just a teenager with a cheap camera and a dream nobody else could see, especially his mom. Sue Perisher didn't understand it. A military veteran, raised on structure and results, she believed in systems you could trust. School, a steady job, a straight path, not YouTube, not her son spending entire nights filming himself counting to 100,000. To Sue, it looked like Jimmy was wasting his future. But to Jimmy, YouTube wasn't just content. It was control. It was the only space in his life where no one could shut him down. Their relationship strained. She pushed for order. He reached for freedom. Then it happened. Millions of views, emails from sponsors, headlines calling him a genius. The internet had finally caught up with what Jimmy always knew. This wasn't just a phase. Sue saw it too. She went from doubter to partner, from shutting off the Wi-Fi to managing contracts as chief compliance officer of MrBeast LLC. Behind the scenes, she became the engine of the empire. The respect between them grew, but so did the unspoken weight of those early years. The friction, the pressure, the silence that came before the success. Because even when the world starts believing in you, it's hard to forget the moment your own family didn't. The father who vanished. There's one person you'll never see in a MrBeast video. One name that never shows up in the credits. One voice that's been missing since the beginning. Jimmy's father, Stephen Donaldson. He's not just absent, he's erased. A ghost in the background of Jimmy's life. And the reason why. It runs darker than most people know. Back in 2007, Jimmy's parents divorced, but this wasn't a quiet mutual split. According to Sue, the home had turned violent. Physical, emotional, and even sexual abuse. One night, it nearly turned fatal. That's when she left. Not just the marriage, but the man. She never looked back. There was no custody battle, no every other weekend visits, no birthdays or phone calls. Jimmy's father disappeared completely. No interviews, no tweets, no effort to reconnect, just silence. And for a kid like Jimmy, silence doesn't just echo. It hardens you. It makes you work twice as hard, build twice as big, give twice as much. Not just to others, but to the version of yourself you wish had been seen. While the world praises MrBeast's generosity, very few know what really fueled it. Absence, pain, and the need to prove something. He could have broken. Instead, he hit record. The empire he built, it didn't start with money. It started with a boy in a quiet room trying to turn hurt into hope. Mom turned business partner today, MrBeast is a global icon, running businesses, launching restaurants, and giving away fortunes. But behind the camera, quietly holding it all together, is the one person who's been there since the beginning, his mom, Sue Perisher. The same mother who once questioned his YouTube obsession now helps manage the empire he built. As Chief Compliance Officer of MrBeast LLC, Sue oversees contracts, budgets, and major decisions. She's not just involved, she's vital. You won't see her in the spotlight, but her presence is everywhere. She's the structure behind the chaos, the steady hand behind the viral stunts. While Jimmy creates, Sue protects, making sure every deal is solid, every donation is legit, and every dollar is accounted for. This partnership didn't come easy. She was once the mom who turned off his Wi-Fi and demanded he focus on school. But over time, she saw what Jimmy was building, and instead of standing in the way, she joined him. And that's what makes MrBeast different. Behind the money and the madness is a family that rebuilt itself, a mother who went from strict to supportive, a son who never forgot where he came from, and a business that only works because of the trust between them. She doesn't need a title in a video. She already has the most important one, the one who stayed, the brother who walked away. Jimmy isn't the only Donaldson who tried to make it on YouTube. His older brother Charles Donaldson, known online as Mr. Bro, launched his own channel in 2019 with full support from Jimmy. The videos had the same vibe, same challenges, even the same crew helping behind the scenes. It looked like the start of a family empire, but it didn't last. After just a few uploads, CJ stepped away from content creation. No dramatic exit, no official goodbye, just a quiet fade. Some say he didn't enjoy the pressure. Others think he simply wanted to live a life offline. Whatever the reason, he chose peace over popularity. Still, the bond between them is solid. CJ may not be in the spotlight, but he's part of the story. He was there during the tough times, during the arguments, during the rise. And that matters more than views. In a world obsessed with numbers, Jimmy's core remains the same. Family first. Whether it's his brother taking a step back or his mom handling contracts behind the scenes, everything MrBeast builds is rooted in loyalty. He's not just handing out cash for clout. He's creating a legacy, one that rewrites his family's past and secures their future. Because in the end, the real story of MrBeast isn't about giving away money. It's about never giving up on the people who gave you everything. More than just a YouTuber, the world sees MrBeast as the guy who gives away private islands, builds wells in Africa, and throws millions into videos. But behind the viral titles and massive giveaways is a story that runs deep, a story of pain, pressure, and persistence. He didn't come from a picture-perfect family. His father disappeared early in his life and never looked back. His mother, a decorated military veteran, raised 2 sons alone while juggling her own trauma. She didn't always understand Jimmy's obsession with YouTube, but in time, she saw what he was becoming and chose to stand beside him, not against him. Now, she's not just his mom. She's a partner in one of the biggest media empires on the internet, and even though his brother CJ stepped away from the spotlight, he remains a part of the story. Someone who supported Jimmy through it all, even if fame wasn't for him. MrBeast didn't just build a YouTube channel, he built a new life for his family. He turned silence into strategy, pain into purpose. And the boy who grew up in a house full of discipline and distance, he became a man who gives back, because he knows what it's like to grow up without. So the next time you see MrBeast changing someone else's life, remember, that generosity was born out of survival. And behind the millions, there's just a kid who needed something to believe in, and a mom who finally believed in him. Hit subscribe if you felt that. We've got more untold stories coming your way.